COVID fatigue. It's a new term and it's real, and I suspect you know what I'm talking about. I know that people are getting tired of the restrictions, and I know that some businesses are struggling through all of this. I wish everything could reopen. I get no pleasure from this situation. I want to put this behind us, but we can't yet. I wanted to take a moment and talk to you about the numbers. Every day I look at our data with our public health experts to try to determine how we are doing and what does the data tell us about being able to reopen. Trends are particularly important. How are we doing over 7 days? What does the trend look like over time? And how do our trends compare with surrounding jurisdictions and with jurisdictions that have been more cautious and, in some cases, less cautious than we've been? We know that anything we do to increase reopenings also increases points of contact between people who don't have COVID and those who do. And because we know that COVID can be spread by people who are positive but who have no symptoms, none of us knows for sure whether or not we've had contacts that put us at risk. So even as we've allowed a few more activities and businesses to resume, we are also seeing some concerning trends. I wanted to discuss some of the data as we look at it. The 7-day average of all new cases in the county. This information is important as it gives us a sense of how we're doing over time. On May 19th, the 7-day average of new confirmed cases peaked at 260. Since then, it has gone up and down. When we entered phase 1, we had 195 new cases. When we entered phase 2, we had 83 new cases. On August 24th, when we permitted a few more activities, there were 67 cases. Last week, we had a day with 140 cases, and yesterday, there were 53 cases. What does this tell us? It shows us that while we're doing better than we were in May, we are still not on a continuous downward trend. We also look at the 7-day number of new cases per 100,000. This gives us a chance to compare with other jurisdictions, an apples-to-apples comparison. It is interesting to note that as a state, we are not doing nearly as well as nearby states that have been mentioned by the governor as examples of states that reopened: Connecticut, New Jersey, and New York. When we look at new cases in the last 7 days per 100,000 people, we see that Connecticut had 18, New Jersey has 23, New York has 21, Maryland has 68. That is a significant difference between Maryland and the other states. Another way we look at COVID is where it's showing up in our population. And we're seeing an increase in cases among people 19 and younger. Remember in the beginning how people were saying that young people didn't get the virus and they didn't spread it? Well, right now, about 26% of the new cases are in this age group. You can see on the chart on the screen, the cases in this age group have been steadily going up, and the evidence now shows that they also spread the virus. The trends are concerning, and I have an obligation to listen to our public health experts. We continue to work at examining what could be open and what requirements would we need to meet in order to assure the safety of our residents. We all saw the news stories of states that decided to reopen too quickly only to see their cases soar. We've seen clearly what happens when you open too quickly, and we don't want to be those states and those counties. We're working to get our baseline of cases down so that if we have another surge, as has been predicted, the virus has less of a jumping off point to start from. I want to thank our business community who understands that the path to further reopening is being careful now. I want to thank all of you for your patience and adhering to the safety guidelines. When I'm out and about in the community, the majority of people, the vast majority of people and businesses are doing the right thing. This will be with us for a while to come, and we will continue to do the right things. The actions we individually and collectively take to protect ourselves will benefit everyone. Thank you for taking the time to try to understand. Please stay safe and keep following the guidelines.